Alright, hello everybody and welcome on back. We've got the music going. Oh, it's so majestic. It's so peaceful too. I like it. And no net per se, I actually went and did a little bit of the scratch and made a very rudimentary game board with 16 sprites that have alternate, or well, they don't have alternate costumes yet. I only have the first two sprites, or no, the first four sprites technically number-wise, but the first two unique sprites. And it's basically 8 sprites with doubles to make 4 rows of 4 columns, and they're spaced out relatively well and sized about the same. So there could be some adjustments made, just something to kind of keep in mind as I go. I already ran into a little bit of a bug trying to get the costumes. So I was able to import. Actually, no, I just drew a rectangle. Never mind. So creating my own costume for one of the sprites. And again, that's for objects, characters, like actual things, what have you. Do I have dirt? I have some dirt. Let's go ahead and keep building. But anyways, yeah, so it's pretty exciting. Like, and already that didn't take me long. It took me, like just a few minutes, and I threw it together. I picked a bunch of random animal sprites that they have. They have a bunch of pre-built characters that you can use. And they have all these different categories, like people, fantasy, animals, all sorts of stuff. So they have a bunch of backgrounds too, which I haven't done anything with that yet. It's still just a plain white background, but um, I need to figure out, well, a couple of things. Like, so how to keep track of score and how to remove matches when they happen, and then all sorts of this, like the finer details. So I've got the basic thing going, and then also how to randomize it too. So that's how to make it scalable to be good for multiple uses. Now, the first one is good for a concept and like a first rough draft or a first version. I mean, well, no, I wouldn't even say a first complete version because no, that's just kind of a cop out. Like, I don't know many people that would want to play the same Sudoku. Like, if you got a Sudoku app, you wouldn't want to play the same Sudoku map over and over and over again. You could reset it, sure, but no, you don't want to keep playing the same one. Um, so anyways, so we need to be able to randomize the location of the sprites and or their position too. I wonder if there's a way like position relative to, or even do a grid layout. Like if you were doing this for a website, you would have a few different options. You could have divs, divisions, and just the basic HTML for part of it, and then also which you can control through JavaScript and CSS. But also you could import like a Bootstrap library or the CSS Bootstrap, or I want to say there's like a Snap one. But either way, there's these APIs or these frameworks out there that you can download a package, and then it has like a grid layout. And I want to say there's even just like a basic grid layout that you can do like native or innately, like not innately, included within just HTML stuff that you can use or a tool that you can use. But anyways, for Scratch, I don't know. I might need to look up something like that, so I'll Google it or you use whatever search browser you want to. But Google AI has AI in its search now, supposedly. So, according to some random dude that posted something on the X app. So, I mean, he was defending it though. I was looking through the comments and he kept saying like pretty much the same thing. Like that regular was that like organic searching is no longer necessary or even gonna happen. Like, cause all the Google AI is going to make its best guess at answering your question based on its entire wealth of knowledge. Like, you're basically it's Ask Jeeves, but now it's like Google. I mean, now this is the friendly butler, like, thing that we were trying to work for, but it's more dignified than that, because, I mean, even the idea of butler, like, personal assistant, professional assistant, like, that's totally a thing. Especially, like, look at Mr. Beast. He's got, like, an army of personal assistants and actors and actresses that, like, or maybe just say actors and just mean both. I feel like that should be a thing anyway. Without awkwardly making it like He-Man or to match women, like women and woman. No, see that's too similar, and that just wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. Communication is key, and that goes for making things pleasant and acceptable, or easy to get along with. Because that's the biggest thing with America is we have too many splits of rural versus urban, like the city versus the town folk. And I grew up in a small town, so I understand that side very clearly. And like, some of these more radical seeming ideas do seem that much more radical to people that aren't exposed on a day-to-day basis of these things. Like, specifically transgenderism, but like LGBTQ in general. Like I remember there was like one person or maybe two people that I could point to and be like, "Oh yeah, no, I think they're gay." And that was fine. Like nobody cared. We really didn't. I mean, it was just like we didn't know how to act because like there wasn't a whole lot of it. It wasn't really highlighted or brought attention to. And I mean, it just wasn't a thing. It was a non-thing. So having a problem come up like that, or not a problem, just like a situation, like it doesn't have to be like positive or negative, just like, here's this law to give equal rights to that, and then so the people that are hardly ever see it might be like, oh wait, why is that necessary, or why are we wasting, tax dollars for this? But then it's like, then the people that do know, because I don't think I knew of a gay couple up in Buena Vista. Sorry, I mean not to really dox anybody, but like we just didn't. I mean, I did know a lesbian and a gay person. So, and sorry, like the distinction, like a man and a woman, both. So there was that, but at different stages of my life, and I think the lesbian might have actually had a wife, but I don't know. And like, I honestly thought my preacher was a lesbian. She's not. She's married to a guy, but for the longest time I thought she was, and I didn't question it. I learned that just a few years ago, like this year. Anyways, sorry. So I grew up thinking that I was listening to a lesbian preach the sermon. And so when I heard the LGBTQ, like, just discussion, in college when I came to the city, I was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, I just was kind of on board with it. I also dated a very progressive, very liberal woman in high school. And yeah, so it was already kind of like, almost a little on the scary side. Like, Pamela Anderson meets, like, I don't know, now, I've never been a hacktivist, but I've been trained to keep an eye out for them and gently coach them into, doing right by humanity. And maybe forcefully guiding. Anyways, let's get some glass. I've been watching a lot of Breaking Bad too, which is it's just really interesting. Oh, let's go and sleep. Get some more beds. Oh, everyone's pretty grown up. Anyways, let's get to trading. Get some emeralds. Get some levels. Hmm. So what I need to do is that the one? No, that might not even be the one. Either way, we do have wheat. And how much? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Huh. Oh, there we go. Okay, I was just trying to remember. It's been a while since I've traded, and I need melons too, but I need to get some of these up to that level. Anyway, sorry, that was a lot of delay and shenanigans. Let's just put all the pumpkins here and that, and then some good old farming. And I don't even have a hoe, so oh, controller drift. There. So I guess next steps are for the scratch program. I'm gonna finish doing the alternate costume, is what it's called, for making the card basically. So it's like you're flipping over a card when you're seeing it be revealed and all that. So like there's like a duck in there, a cat, dinosaur, an orc goblin thing looking thing that's named Frank. Just a lot of fun stuff. So anyways, yeah, 16 sprites, 8 unique sprites, and yeah, it took me like 5 minutes. So, and that's a cool thing. So once you get into like doing stuff like that, just with like Scratch, that shows you just kind of timing. Um, For this one, it's going to be a matter of storing a variable of, well, you can keep a score. You could also need a variable for if it's a match and then to remove them in like some kind of section of code. And I haven't even gotten into that, like storing, well, basically doing methods or functions, which is what you'd call them in other languages, but I forget what Scratch calls them. Maybe there's like procedures or something. But anyways, bits of code. You can even call them macros, I think, in Excel. So anyways, little segments of steps that if you got two of the same one and then turn them back over, so like they have to turn to a different costume for a certain amount of time, and then if something doesn't happen, or like if this variable isn't set, which could be a flag saying match is confirmed or not, and then yeah, it almost sounds like a drone. So and all of this is triggered on like the initial one when the green flag is hit, you start the new game, and then yeah, just remove the cards if they're a match and raise the point one for that person, and then and then vice versa. I need a hoe. Oh. I mean, it keeps them out of the garden, so notice it's been the same. I can even leave all that there. They do not think that they can go. Um, hmm. Oh, really only have the one. Well, we can do this, but I thought I had more room over here to do more gardening. So we're gonna need water sources for the ones above us. Um, if and that's the way I want to go, which I mean, let's try to get, because once we get to the pumpkins, then we can, definitely level up the farmers that way. But, wait, there we go. There we go. And, okay. Even though I just learned it again. Yeah, nice. Now I can enchant some things, like, oh well, we don't have to worry about it now. Need water buckets, and preferably two of them. I don't know if I have a second one though. It's a lot of, did I have a furnace room around here? No, haven't done that yet. So I also just heard a fun fact. Well, I saw on the X app that Tommy Chong posted his mugshot from back when he did like 9 months in prison or for selling bongs. Um, and I heard what the actual story is they were going after his son for selling bongs or something across state lines, or making it like exponentially worse and worse. And then to save his own kiddo, like he went to prison for 9 months and had a cellie who was the Wolf of Wall Street dude, and talking about penny stocks and whatnot. And like, I don't know, I have to like look it up to see. But even if not, like, even if any of that is, in fact, let's do that. This is how much time it takes to show someone the respect to take it, like to look up a thing. So I made a statement, and yeah, they're judging. Okay, Sentenced to 9 months in federal prison in 2003 after pleading guilty to one count of conspiracy to distribute drug paraphernalia. Chong was part of the financing and promotion of his son's business, Chong Glass Nice Streams, which sold bongs and water pipes. So, huh. Tommy Chong to Felicity Huffman. Relax, federal prison isn't so bad. Hmm. Inmate. Huh. Anyways, let's see. Tommy Chong, Sally, Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort, who wrote the memoir on which the movie was based, who, after being imprisoned for securities fraud and money laundering, in 2003 ended serving 22 months in Taft, California. While he was there, he was cellmates with Tommy Chong, who was doing 9 months. So, okay. The Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, that's crazy. Like, how much that dude did? 22 months? That's, I know people that do a lot more for a lot less. Anyways. Social and wealth inequalities, at its finest. Oh, but also the Tommy Chong thing. No, I don't think that should have even been a prison sentence. Sorry, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, the Wolf of Wall Street was like doing a bunch of drugs and like throwing people's money away and stealing from people, like ripping people off. And that is like, no, that's pretty messed up. You deserve the 22 months, sir. But and then he's back out and he's back at it. He's probably got tons of money and he's gonna forget it and it's gonna be a bad memory that, I mean, it's gonna make an impression, but is he back to his old things, or really did he grow out of it too? Because that's the thing that I was also bringing to a discussion about psychology with someone who had a degree in it, and I've only had a class or five. No, just kidding, the same one 5 times, which is not a good thing to brag about. But anyways, no, it was jeez, what was we even talking about? The psychology X app. Shoot, I forgot. Anyways. No, 22 months and like just prison reform. And now that marijuana is becoming legal, cannabis, which is a much better name for it, because like, and even then, marijuana isn't bad anymore. It's just like it used to be. What kind of is? Because it's like, it's said in kind of like negative tones, and like you're, oh, the marijuana, like it's so dangerous. And there's a place in Fort Collins where you can watch people blow glass pipes, like or water pipes, bongs, basically. And and there was a time when you had to say water pipe. I remember that very well. It was when I was in college. You had to say water pipe, and not that I ever purchased a water pipe, but I knew people that had procured a water pipe. And we went and watched them make water pipes, and we had it explained to us that we have to call them water pipes. Uh, yeah. So for tobacco, and we did all smoke tobacco a ton too. So I mean, it wasn't really a stretch, but you know, it wasn't like the cheeky fun days when we'd pretend we were talking about, or we would joke about pretending that we'd be smoking a bong at a bus stop and it'd just be tobacco. Because I mean the ridiculousness of it, but that's not on them. Like they're enforcing laws that made sense at the time, but then these other circumstances start happening, and then it's like, oh, this is potentially drug paraphernalia, and as soon as it has residue, then it is drug paraphernalia, which is true still, by the way. So I mean, regardless of what your state's legalities are for cannabis, just be careful because that is, you don't want that in a vehicle, like especially with like residue and stuff. But let's see. It's better safe than sorry. But I mean, and that was the other thing that I tagged in the XApp post was, hey, Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin, like, that, not that they ever read it, but maybe if enough of people like it and like comment on it. But basically, like, the problem is there's not enough public places to smoke or to use cannabis, in any of these states where it's legal. Um, so until there's kind of like a substitute for the bar aspect, it's going to be hard for people to actually enjoy legal cannabis. So basically is the thing. And that's actually a good thing too, because you don't want to be smoking in public. Like, I mean, like, drinking in public is one thing. Like, if you act a fool, then yeah, of course. But like, if you're keeping to yourself and it just smells a little bad, then okay. But if you're smoking, like, that's gonna like waft around. I mean, granted, once it's done, then it's like a pretty mellow person. As long as they like keep it under control, they're probably a lot more enjoyable to talk to and just wave at and just happier all around. But then if you have kiddos around, then you have the awkward instance of, oh, do we talk about this or do you just like smile and whatever, or and luckily it is kind of more like smile and whatever, but there are still some people that, I'm sorry, I feel like hearing a bunch of dum 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 dum. Not necessarily like a broomstick, but like pounding on the walls. Gotta be careful doing that because I believe that a lot of places, like especially like college housing and stuff, the wall might not make it. Oh, actually, how are we doing? 21? Maybe another short one. That was all I really wanted to come on and say is like I did some of the scratch program. It's pretty exciting. Um, oh, well, on Breaking Bad, we could talk about that a little bit. Like just the way that. So I'm watching the episodes where Badger gets busted, and then Better Call Saul. That's where we first see him. Oh, and then I just finished the whole Better Call Saul series. Yeah, and you see Jimmy McGill or Saul Goodman, which is a play on words like it's all good, man. Sorry, that's spoilers. That's major spoilers to anyone who hasn't seen that stuff yet. I mean, it's been a while. Well, maybe not the Saul Goodman, but I believe for the episodes where that was a thing, if you've dodged the spoilers until thus far, congratulations. All right, let's get the pumpkins. But the idea of it, just everything in Breaking Bad is just so. Oh, I mean, Hank. Well, I don't know. I am making these like adult only, but at the same time, there might be a day or two lag, so I don't know. Like hesitant to like say too much into it, but just like the drama and like the subtle nuances, like how normal human beings are capable of like going and going and going until I can't even get another one. That's okay. I consolidated it, and then we can do this. Okay. Well, especially with the opioid or opiate epidemic, like fentanyl and all that. It's Well, a lot of that's from pain medication from prescribing doctors and whatnot. Like a simple injury can turn into like well, basically like a heroin habit. I've known a few people like that. Yeah, and one I know is actually dead, but the other one, I don't know. But anyways, it's not good. And it started off as like a sports injury, like I think a broken arm or something like that. And we used to dish those out a lot in Buena Vista football. Like there was a lot of broken bones. I think even a broken rib from my own teammate from something we did, and like, yeah. Oh, ow. Let's try to feed the llama. I mean, that's fine, but you gonna do anything or? Alright. It's just gonna be a baby llama teleport around, or a stork's gonna come in. Okay. We could do something about this. Oh, you know what? Do the diorite. I do have my geology book. I did find that. That was my favorite class in college, and I kind of want to see like what a picture of diorite actually looks like, because this might be it. Granite is kind of, yes, it is correct, but granite can also look like other things, more like kind of tannish, and 'cause it's made up of like a few different things: amphibole or quartz, hornblende, and feldspar. And then depending on if it's like a felsic granite, if it's like heavy on the feldspar, it's just like a pink mineral, then then you get what you see, well, not here, but in this game. So, and then, but diorite, I mean, I don't know. It might be like, yeah, white rock with black spots, or, and I wouldn't even know the first part of like if it's like an igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary. It's not sedimentary, and but I could see it is igneous or metamorphic. So metamorphic is more like the bands one, like the schists and the gneisses, and like cause that are formed with heat and pressure over time, whereas igneous are just volcanic or shortly thereafter, really dense. So it's gotta be metamorphic. Anyways, granted, uh, not sedimentary. I almost want to say metamorphic through like, because a conglomerate. I don't know. That might be. See, I don't even know. I'd want to go look at the book, and I know where the book is. So, and that's what Google is now. I could look up, you know, igneous, metamorphic, sedimentary, and then the rock name. And just by that, Google will respond. Oh yeah, it's this. Good A. I'm just kidding. Depending on which part of the world you are, they might have something fun like that, and they definitely have all those like famous people and like quotes and little tidbits and stories. Just kind of like the more people are on the platform, the more they're just learning that stuff. And then thinking about like the college humors, there's this YouTube video where it's like the if Google search was a person. Yeah, it's good stuff. There we go. Felsic granite. Take some of that too. You can even make like the next story that. Make like some weird kind of like white, pink, uh, I guess pink. Yeah, this is kind of a reddish pink. I mean, it's definitely not like light pink like the cherry wood is. Hmm. It's just a sheep randomly. There's a lot to get, but let's go ahead and get the granite. We will do that. A nice little layer, because I don't know. There's also andesite, which, yeah, that sounds like a real one again, but I honestly wouldn't know what it looked like for sure. So I'd want to go like check it, look it up, and most likely, I mean, I just feel like for some reason one of them is kind of like off, like, or at least like there's worth mentioning that granite can be different colors, like slightly different shades. Like it could be more of like a vanilla, or like a tannish, and not so pink heavy. But so we have a lot of granite. The Rocky Mountains are made of granite. Like we also have a lot of river rocks because it makes yards look pretty without using a bunch of water. Oh, all right. I don't even know how much we need. Like if we could do like a wall kind of thing, like we did with the diorite, and then we could also build another building altogether. That's another possibility or option. But the island is kind of crowded, so I'm almost thinking like a water world type thing, like a floating. That does sound fun. Over where the channel will go. Okay, yeah. We'll make it a Graniteville. All right, yeah. So now we definitely need a lot of this. But like minerals and stuff, which is a funny thing because that's also in Breaking Bad, where like Hank goes for, I mean, when he's this and that. No spoilers for that one, but he starts like getting really into rocks and minerals, and Marie keeps calling him rocks, and he's like, "They're minerals, Marie," like getting all like offended, and taking a real like passion in this, just because his life is like unraveling, and yeah, it's such a good show, but unfortunately, the reality is we're a lot farther in fixing a lot of those problems. I mean, not all the way, but like coming together as a global community and helping other communities rise up to the same or similar levels to first world countries is kind of like the big focus. Now China's doing it, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, China's going to steal their money," or You know, they're gonna like strap them with loans and debt for the rest of their lives. Like it's yeah, which I mean, people got to get paid, and so but I think a lot of the people would like to do the work themselves. So really, people got to get trained, and depending on if that training was maybe like volunteered. Ooh, look, we have a lot of emeralds now. Um, then yeah, something like that could be a thing. How much? Let's do this. So I don't have to keep going back and forth. We'll do finish out the stack. Go build an island base, kind of like Waterworld. So for those of you that haven't seen Waterworld, it's an old movie. Oh, well that's like time anyway. Oh, and I was like saying about ending it early. Never mind. But Waterworld is where there's no more land. Like they're just floating around with ships and jet skis and stuff, and they do like warfare um, and then yeah. So it's like a '90s movie, but basically what we could do. Uh, oh, let's see. Yeah, it's just barely over 30. Let's go ahead and let's say I could show you what I'm talking about. Well, actually no, because then, well, if we had like a bunch of platforms, like this even almost looks like Waterworld, where like even if they had dirt, it would just be like a floating island, like an artificial island, and then they'd have jet skis. But what I was kind of thinking is like I'll put it over here. There we go. Yeah, I'll just show you the location, because then I'm making a glass tunnel from there, and it's gonna go to that island, and it's just gonna basically connect the two islands. And this is, kind of extending. You can even see it on the mini map. There's like a whole new like peninsula on this island, almost as long as the original island. Anyways, so let's see, where is that? Yeah, this glass tunnel. Come over here. We'll have like a granite or polished granite floating structure here. I don't even know what for, but it'll just be like that. Then yeah, see that's looking pretty good. And then we'll do a granite one on top of it, which is also kind of pink. And then we'll do like granite walls. Replace that maybe. So, anyways, ta-ta for now. That's a good one. And yeah, might take that nap. All right, see you in the next one.